Ralph and Terry on this Selection Sunday. Well, let me ask you on this. That last young man we saw.
Yeah, that's my little nephew. That's Carlos Jackson, A.D. Jackson, my teammate. Yes, that's good to see him.
Somebody told me that the other day, and of course, A.D., an outstanding player for UC.
That's right. He looked just like his papa.
And he got Walt McBride's son on that team too. Walt McBride's son plays with that Spartan team, 6th man on that team.
He's better looking than A.D.
Yeah,
though.
he is. Yeah. A.D. won't tell you that, but he got better hair too.
Okay, let's make a move to the South Regional right now. Florida is the #1 seed. We've talked about them. Kansas is #2. Right in the middle of the bracket, a meeting between Ohio State and Dayton. That game's going to be played in Buffalo. Thoughts on the South, guys? This is I guess it's not stacked, but there's some interesting matchups there.
It might be unanimous on this one. I don't know, but I'll go first with this one. I like Dayton. I think Dayton has been tested early on. I think they've been tested in their conference. They're a team that can play up to any capability. They have the guards. They have low post presence. They're bigs. They shoot it well. They handle the ball well. They have great coaching down there. And I just think they're primed to take a national splash. They've been trying to play Ohio State, just like Cincinnati's been trying to play Ohio State. Everybody in the state's trying to play Ohio State. Ohio State don't want to play anybody of national recognition within their own state. But now they get forced to play each other in the tournament, and Dayton is licking their chops. I think they're going to play with so much passion and emotion, and Ohio State can't shoot it well.
You know, UCLA has been an interesting story, and they've come a long way in a short period of time under Steve Alford. And it'll be interesting to see just how far he can take them, whether he can take UCLA back to the national prominence as they once were for so long. But, you know, in this total bracket here, I mean, how can you go against Florida with what they've done? You know, 32-2, having gone undefeated in Southeastern Conference play in the regular season and winning the tournament. And I don't care what you say, you've got to go back a long time. You know, having played in the conference, having been a fan of the Southeastern Conference, having analyzed it, I don't know of any team that's actually beaten Kentucky 3 times in one season.
Right.
Even though Kentucky's a little down, that is a tough task to do, and Florida was able to do that. 4 seniors, they got a great point guard in Scotty Wilkinson. I like Florida.
Yes.
Well, I like Florida to come out of the bracket, but I tell you, some interesting things going on here. I think Pitt will give Florida all it wants when it comes to physicality and playing hard and be able to match that inside presence. Pitt will give them all they want. VCU against UCLA.
Yeah.
Can the big 6'9" point guard get it up the floor against VCU in the tournament? VCU's tournament tested, know how to win there. You know, don't be surprised if VCU sneaks into the Sweet 16 over UCLA. I like Dayton. I think 30 years ago, Ohio State didn't play a team in this state, and then they played them one night over the Gardens, and they got beat.
Yes, they did.
So I think they go and repeat.
And a former Buckeye playing against them, a Princeton kid, Jordan
Seibert.
Seibert.
You have George Wilson called in now talking about that.
George and Seibert's licking his chops. But the thing about being there, Dayton's run will last no longer than that because they're in Buffalo against Syracuse.
That's right.
And that place will be oranged out. And then Kansas. Kansas will quietly handle their business. I think they will.
Yeah.
And Embiid will be back that second weekend. And that Kansas-Syracuse game in the second weekend with Embiid back will be great.
Okay, let's go out to the phones. Rube's been hanging on. Rube, you're on Meyer Sports of all sorts.
Thanks for taking my call, Pop.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I think the last time Dayton and Ohio State played, Coach Donaher was probably at the University at Dayton. So, anyhow, great man. UC, 5 instead of 4. Little disappointing, but boy, if I was Mick, I'd take what they said on ESPN. I saw everybody picking Harvard over UC. I'd have that replaying in the locker room. And then I think it was an absolute insult to Xavier, what they did to them. And they should have been, from what I understand, an 11 seed or whatever. Certainly not where they're at now. And I'll hang up and let you guys comment on that.
Yeah, I thought it was complete disrespect how the CBS announcers, Doug Gottlieb in particular, who I think is, I don't know why he's on that panel, but Doug Gottlieb, how they say, they just sort of blew past the UC game, and they look at records and saying, Harvard's going to beat UC just based on records. No, Harvard's played one team of note, Nebraska. 72-64, they beat Nebraska. The quality wins that they should have had on their roster were Boston University and Boston College. Both of those teams got combined 17 wins. I mean, their schedule, they've been playing just about, they played Electoral College. They played Obama's YMCA team. I mean, they didn't play anybody other than the schools that were on their schedule. And they won those games, but they are not the same team. They don't turn the ball over well. They don't turn the ball over. They pass it well, but they've never played a defense that will check you wherever you are on the floor. Cincinnati probably won't score it well with their offense, but I think they will score it well defensively because they will shoot those passing lanes.
Yeah, I have been impressed with what Tommy Amaker has been able to do with that program.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you think of an Ivy League school, you don't really think of anybody saying that they can beat the University of Cincinnati, even though I don't think that'll happen. But it just goes to show how far he's taken that program and really propelled that league into like the national spotlight.
You mentioned Xavier. I think Xavier was an 11 seed, but Dayton cannot play at home in the NCAA tournament. So I think those two teams kind of flopped and went. They go to play Ohio State. You go over there and play in the 12 game. I think that's what happened. When you looked at all the things that bracketologists were saying, Lenardi, hey, Xavier and Dayton were pretty close in all the things you saw. And I think they just flip-flopped those two.
Okay, coming up a little later, Mike Battaglia, who's going to handicap the Horseshoe Casino Spiral Stakes, which is coming up next Saturday at Turfway Park. We'll continue to fill out your bracket when we return at the top of the hour. First,